Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. I want to send double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Send much peace, love, salutation to y'all came out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and sincerity and truth. This is the brother Ariala. This is kind of a follow-up lesson that I did on, brothers not holding grudges, brothers being hospitable. I wanted to touch in on this word charity and talk about a little bit of mindset. This lesson is going to be charity isn't just being nice and giving people things. It's a spirit. It's a mindset. It's a way of being on your inner man, right? So what we read the scripture, and I just want to touch on this just a little bit because I don't want us to be simple about charity. Just because you might give a brother some money or help a brother out or with a situation, pick them up, give them a ride, or buy somebody some food or give them some of your old clothes. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're charitable, okay? And so let's dig into this a little bit. This is First Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. It says, "Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself up. It is not puffed up." Okay? These are attributes that if you have charity, that you have inside of you. Okay? Now, you see here in the NLT, it says love is patient and kind, right? It suffereth long. All right, so let's just get this word real quick in the concordance. This word charity, we always talk about this word, the word agape, okay? Strong's G26, agape. It says affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, okay? And you can see that it's interchangeable with the word love, feast, charitability, and everything like that. So this attribute of charity or being charitable comes along with suffering long suffering, envying not puffing yourself up about something. You don't give or help or show love and then you're expecting something back or you're expecting to be seen. You're expecting to get a pat on your back. If you're doing something with that expectation of appreciation, then it is not charity. You're not doing it with a mind and heart of being charitable. You're not doing it with agape. You're not doing it with love. Okay? It says in verse 5, it doth not behave itself unseemly, right? Let's just go over to the NLT. It says, uh, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. See that? So that's a mindset that you gotta have, and when you are keeping record of being wronged and you losing your heart of charity, what happens? You start to become a person that's holding a grudge. Okay, it says it does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It's is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Okay. And so when we put on this charity, when we have love for one another, all right, which the scriptures talk about how, you know, it can basically cover a multitude of sins. This is the mindset. These are the things that we're carrying with it as we go through this captivity, because you got a lot of people that'll give and that'll do things for brothers, but they're keeping count. They're keeping score. They're not actually doing it with a mind of charity. And we have to be careful if we're doing it. And it doesn't matter. It's just in general, whether it's amongst the brothers, amongst your family, whatever, you know. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 says, "Watch out. Don't do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven." See? So the intent, the mindset of it all is important. When you give to someone in need, don't do it as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogue and the street to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they have received all the reward. they will ever get. See? But when you give to someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you. Right? So the things that we do amongst the brothers, we used to have a guy, former head of the camp. He always wanted everybody to know what he did for somebody else, or if he taught somebody something, if he did something for somebody. And it comes off as what Elder Mike Allah likes to say, humble bragging. We don't need to be here humble bragging. Okay? That's not storing up your treasures in heaven when you do that. Okay? It comes off as boastful. It comes off as proud. And as we read in 1 Corinthians 13, that's not charity. Okay? That's not charity. So we got to watch out for that in our own spirits and pray for the Most High to cleanse us of that. Okay? Let's see. What scripture that I want? That's not the scripture that I want. Let's get this first. Peter 4 and 8. Oh, yes. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, it says, and above all things have fervent charity amongst yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. See, sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. We read this scripture on that last lesson. But like I said, when you're tit for tatting, when you're counting, when you can start to have a grudge. I did this for that brother. I did that. I did this. I did that, all of these things. Always, and now you starting to get a chip on your shoulder about the charity that you supposedly have. Well, in all actuality, you never had charity. Okay, you never did it with that mindset. You was just helping a little bit. You was just helping, but it wasn't with a heart and a mind of charity. Okay, that's just the way it goes, man. So we got to make sure that we're not getting proud in this thing as we go. Like I said, it's gonna get tight out here. So brothers are gonna be put in a position where you know we basically holding each other down, man. You know, we got to be like that. James 4 and 6 says, but he giveth more grace, wherefore he said, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Okay? Submit yourselves therefore to the Most High, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. See? And so we have to make sure that as we go on this walk, that we're, maintaining a mindset of true agape love, not no grudging one another, not, you know, putting on a ticker. Yep, I helped him last week. Of course, well, brothers shouldn't be looking to take advantage of each other. And if that's happening, the spirit will reveal it. But the heart that we have towards each other to aid and lift each other's up and be there and have and be and you know be given to one another. We got to make sure that we maintain that mindset that we read about in 1 Corinthians 13. So I just wanted to kind of double back on that lesson and talk about this word charity, agape, and really lean in on that. It's not just doing stuff for other brothers. It's actually a mindset, intentionality, and how we deal one to another. So, Lord willing, that was edifying, man. I felt like it was a little bit all over the place, but I hope you got the message. That being said, call halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, salutations to Yakim. Out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and true. Shalom.